we're back to discuss The Witch, and yeah, this is a very unconventional film. I liked it a lot. Aaron didn't care for it. I didn't. I wouldn't say that I felt like everything in the movie was telegraphed. I think that having the plot be based around the family turning on one another and it really not, it really didn't go in any kind of the way that I think these sort of movies usually go. So, what was it that you found telegraphed? And
well, they use so many horror tropes. Like immediately, they have these two obnoxious identical twins that are hearing whispers and talking to a goat. So you immediately know that they're the bad guys, essentially. The goat is going to have some major role to play. And that's in the first 15 minutes. And the movie plays out exactly like that. And you know from a conversation early by the brook that her playing around with those toddlers, saying that they're going to be that she's the witch, is going to come back and bite her and turn the family against her. And just, I saw the entire movie coming before it happened.
I didn't.
And as such, I was just like, okay, so now the goat's gonna do something here. She's gonna end up being the witch at the end of the movie, or become a witch at the end of the movie, and it's exactly what happened. And as such, I felt myself just getting bored by it because I knew it was going to happen. And
I mean, they don't confirm anything about the goat until the last 15 minutes of the movie.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that was telegraphed. There was a whole hour of the movie before that.
They keep going back to them talking to the goat, so you know that the goat is I knew.
Okay.
But and that ruined the movie for me.
Yeah, okay. Fair enough. I thought it was a good twist, honestly. Because to me it felt more like it was a red herring than it was telegraphing what was happening. It felt like they were, making a big deal out of a bunch of different things that didn't turn out to really be anything. I mean, those kids were not actually witches. They were possessed. They were under the influence of...
They played the character of Abigail Foster in Crucible.
Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to explain how I knew. I knew this entire movie before it got there, and it killed the mood for me. I knew at the very beginning, the best parts of the movie were the family by itself. That scene where they're praying over the sun.
Mm-hmm.
This is the best scene in the entire movie for me. I thought it was very interesting to see just the entire family turn on one another and then come back and then turn again, all in the span of 5 minutes. But outside of that, I felt no tension.
When did they turn on each other?
When they're praying over him and...
when they're praying over the sun.
When they're praying over the sun and the toddlers are like, she's a witch, and he's like, no, I won't have any of this witchcraft, and then something witchy happens and they turn on her, and then she implicates the twins and they turn on the twins. It was just it escalated quickly. You have this slow build up to this scene and it happens all in 5 minutes.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that's the end of the second act.
Yeah.
And so
I thought that was a really good scene.
Yeah, So I'm confused. Like, you liked the end of the second act, but the whole movie felt telegraphed. It's really...
Yeah, well, I mean, I saw it coming. I just thought it was a really cool scene.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I thought the cinematography was really great all the way through. The way they did a lot of stuff sort of in candlelight, and they always seem to find, like, the creepiest looking part of the forest to shoot in, or, you know, that one spot where the trap was in the beginning is just really, like, creepy, and you get this, like, sense, even though you only see the witch, like, maybe 30 seconds total in the whole thing, you know, not counting the very end when there's, like, a whole coven out there. And, you know, she appears twice as an old woman and once as a, like, fake young woman, because her hand isn't young when it comes across.
Yeah.
But I thought all that stuff was really well done. I liked the way they set up the fact that the son was, like, starting to have, like, lustful thoughts.
Yeah.
Even though he was trying not to, like, he was trying to behave himself and be good and all that, but, like, you could see him, you know, kind of have to keep that in check, and then that's what ended up, you know, being the thing that got him, was that
Yeah.
he walked
And
up and kissed the pretty girl, and
the mother even calls back to it at the end when she fights with the daughter.
yeah, right, yeah,
Of course, blaming it on the daughter. But I do agree, the movie was shot very well. They did something interesting throughout the movie. When it would cut scenes, like, it would go to a black screen, and it would stay there for, like, 20 seconds.
it was 7. I was counting every one of them.
Yeah, it was... I was like, man, that is a long time to stay.
It feels long, and that's part of what it, like, it's so good with the suspense, is that every time it goes to that black screen, you're like, okay, what happened? You know, and you're hoping that something else comes up, you know, something else happens, and then toward the end, where, you know, where she puts her head down and goes to sleep or whatever, you know, it fades to black, and then it comes back, and there's the final scene, and then it fades to black, and then there's again that, like, 7 or 8 second pause, and then the director's name comes up
Yeah.
to end the movie.
Yeah, that... I think that one scene where she sits down and falls asleep, I felt like that was the longest of the pauses, because I honestly thought, I was like, oh wow, is that the end of the movie? I didn't see that one coming.
I think it's good suspense building, because, like I said, I was really, after it happened the first couple of times, I started counting the seconds of how long those pauses were. And what they would do is like, it'd be dark for 5 seconds. The sound would start for the next scene for 2 more seconds of black, and then...
Did it get longer as the movie went on, or was it
No,
constant?
that's the tension. That's what I'm talking about. It feels longer every time because you're being gripped by the suspense of the movie.
Yeah, when she laid down, I started to get up, because I was like, oh wow, that's the end of the movie.
Right. I mean, and that's good tension building. That's an effective way to do that. And that's why I started counting it, is because I thought, you know, are they doing it for longer? You know, how intentional are they being with using that space as tension? And I think it was all really well done.
Yeah, the movie was shot really well. It was... I was kind of thrown off by the long periods of just black screen, and I wanted to ask you during the movie why they were doing that, but yeah, that makes a lot more sense now. And it did happen, like, right after big things in the movie, so it also let that sink in what just happened.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really good. It's a movie that I think, you know, watching a second time, there's things to look out for that you don't catch the first time you watch it. You know, the way that things are built or the way things are shot. There were some really interesting things being done with the focus, where they would, you know, specifically not focus on a person and focus on the landscape. And so you're just like scouring the landscape looking for something to be there. It's not always there. That sort of stuff. Like obscuring faces and then another face comes into frame and it's in focus and lots of stuff like that. I really liked it. It's really cool. But yeah, that's The Witch. If you like the way we do these, please like the video, subscribe, check out all the written and video reviews at dalemaxfield.com. And thanks for watching.